Doug Gottlieb, the Duggar, is now joining us live, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best for nothing on the Friday. Speaking of young quarterbacks, so everybody knows I had an epiphany a couple weeks ago. I looked at Tua, blah, blah, blah. I liked him all the time, and I said, listen, sometimes your epiphanies happen after the draft. And I said, he doesn't have size, he doesn't have a wiggle. I got to see special. So I watched the Rams game, and I'm like, I just don't see it. So you watched the Rams game. What did you see?
There just wasn't an it play, or wasn't like, you and I have played golf before. Of course, if it's ADD or I'm not sure, could make it through 18. But when you and I play golf, we're not great. But there's that one shot that keeps you coming back. When you and I play tennis, that is really not great. But there's that one rally or one serve that you have, right? Like everybody has that. And when you watch young guys that are prospects just coming into the league, oftentimes they're not consistent. They're not great. But there's a one moment where you're like, oh, okay. That moment wasn't there Sunday. I think that was the kind of most alarming, right? I understand that the questions about Tua for the most part were, would he be healthy? Could he remain healthy? Because every time he got hurt in college, it was trying to run away from a college defender, and NFL defenders are faster, bigger, faster, stronger, etc. But I'm not saying he can't be fine, but in comparison to the first time we saw Burrow, the first time we saw Herbert, both made wow plays. By the way, both lost and he won. But I think if you watch that tape, you're like, show me a reason to believe long term, and that reason is not yet apparent.
So I watched the Niners last night, and don't blame anybody. I still think they have a good GM and a good owner and a great coach and all that stuff. But I do think when you're in a division with Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray and Jared Goff and McVay, you not only have to be better than average, you have to be healthy. He now gets hurt a lot, and it's just what it is. So I don't think this is crazy. I look at New England's quarterback issue, and I look at 49ers, and I'm like, Garoppolo's going back there, right? Like, is that a hot take, or is that there's something there, right?
No, there's something there. I mean, I hypothesized threw this out like a week and a half ago. Like, all right, I understand Matt Ryan makes a bunch of money, but he may be looking for a short-term home. Obviously, he was the MVP under Kyle Shanahan. Does that make success, or is it a Sam Darnold? I think the one thing, though, that we have to kind of catch our breath is if you're going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, no matter what his warts are and his inability to not make the big error or to stay healthy, all of that said, you better know you got somebody who has played in this league, because when healthy, that's a great roster. I mean, really the story this year in the NFL is who's healthy, who's not healthy.
Right, it is.
I mean, just you can't – none of us believe that Kyle Shanahan's a bad coach. They were a bad team last night because they couldn't compete because of the players they're putting on the field. Same thing with Bill Belichick. They had 8 guys opt out. And, of course, they weren't a super talented team, and they lose Brady. What did we expect? Dallas Cowboys, I'm with you. I don't know if that coaching staff fits long term, but there's no way of knowing when you're missing, 4 offensive linemen in your quarterback. So that's the first thing. But in terms of Garoppolo, there's been something there. There's been an obvious frustration, and it was Blake Bortles-like in the NFC Championship game, right, where, they just handed the ball off. Or in the Super Bowl, where they didn't allow him to throw the football and really believe that he could lead him down the field at the end of the first half when they had a full boat of timeouts. So there's been something brewing there, and it does make sense. You always go back to a place where somebody believes in you, and that place may be New England. But it's a lot easier said because we had so much quarterback movement this offseason. Normally, guys fight it out to the bitter end, and normally an injury and all of a sudden the team falls apart usually helps solidify that quarterback. So let's see. It's not a crazy hot take. It's reasonable, but the actual execution of it, it doesn't happen that often in the NFL.
So you were a great college basketball player, and basketball, they always say, defense is a want. If James Harden wanted to be a defender, he could be. Klay Thompson wants to be, right? And so it's the same in defense in the NFL. Green Bay is like a really good basketball player where offense comes easy. I'm just not sure they want to play defense. They're not a physical team. It's not who they are. In your basketball career, you probably played with great guys, and you're like, oh, man, if they took half that effort on the defensive end. And I'm not saying their personnel is perfect in Green Bay, but I watched last night, and I'm like, I didn't get anything out of this. These are the games that are always great. Like, what do I make of Green Bay today after Minnesota than this?
Well, everybody needs a get-right game, right? I mean, everybody needs a game in which you start to feel confident. And even though and this is a crazy stat, there wasn't a player on the Niners active roster that played against the Packers last year in the NFC Championship game. So, yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell. They beat up on the Niners JV, no question. But we could also be honest and say, like, look, Minnesota came in last Sunday and kicked their tail, right, with the exact same kind of game plan, the exact same blocking schemes. So the takeaway is, like, it's still a work in progress defensively, but also this is the way the team was constructed. Get a lead early, and then they have a very good pass rush.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily designed to stop, that run game. What did I learn? I mean, if Devontae Adams isn't a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, I'm not sure who is. Aaron Rodgers, when he gets time, is still a magician. And when they get a lead, that's how they're designed. Do I know if they can stop a legitimate NFL team that likes to run the football? I have no idea because, again, the Niners are just crushed by injuries.
By the way, Bucs, Brees, Saints, Bucs, Brady, Saints, Brees, who do you like and why?
Well, look, I don't know if you heard this, but Brees has a shoulder issue, and I do wonder if this is not a great opportunity to let's see what Jameis has against his old team. I'm with you. I think Brees is a shot fighter. I think the arm is done. I thought last Sunday in Chicago, I know they won the game, but it's a bit of an indictment. And if they're not, I don't think they're going to be able to play all their games at home in the playoffs. And remember, the last 2 years they've lost at home, and he hasn't been great. Of course, the Dome, he's a much better quarterback. So is he going to go on the road and win in Seattle? Is he going to go on the road and win in Green Bay? Or maybe even have to play on the road in Philadelphia, right, if they win the division? The answer is it doesn't look likely. On the other hand, they are supposed to get Michael Thomas back, and whatever his personal issues are, he's an incredible wide receiver, and he's covered up some of the flaws for Drew Brees in the past. So who do I like? I like the Buccaneers. They have a very good defense, especially in the front, and obviously they're starting to come together offensively. I still think that I'd like to see Jameis. Let's see what he's got, especially considering the weakness to the Tampa Bay defense is in the back end, and the guy who can make those throws is Jameis Winston. We just haven't seen him yet for the Saints.
That's interesting. That would be interesting to watch, actually.
I mean, look, we saw this with we saw this with the Broncos, right? And Peyton Manning, I don't know if he was hurt or if he was injured or if he was just old, but remember, Brock Osweiler kind of carried them late in that regular season, and then they benched him to bring in Peyton for the playoffs. I don't think it's unreasonable here if you're the Saints and you say, Brees has got a shoulder issue. Let's sit him down for a week or two. Let's see what else we got. Again, do I think it's going to happen? No, but I don't think it's crazy, especially considering it's the Buccaneers. Jameis threw for 5,000 yards last year in the NFL.
Yeah.
And there is some precedence with it, not just with Brees getting hurt last year, but when Peyton Manning got hurt his last year with the Broncos.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think that would make the game more interesting. That's weird to say.
Yeah.
I think it would actually make the game. I would like to see Jameis play. Production's not his issue. Bad picks are his issue.
Why don't you like dance? What is your thing with dancing? I'm not convinced Drew Lock is the long-term starter for the Ducks.
I was out on
what's your thing? Is it because you dance like the president?
No.
You do the white man's overbite?
No. It's Baker.
I mean, Joy should be offended by this. She does Dance Party Friday every Friday on Instagram, and here you are saying that dance. You're like, what is this, like Footloose?
No,
we can't dance inside city limits?
Presidents to be presidential, quarterbacks to be quarterbackial. You can, if you're great, I'll give you passes. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers does the discount.
No, he's great.
Right, that's bad.
He's great. Magic Johnson could do anything in his prime. He's great. When you're struggling to be a franchise quarterback, scale it back a little.
Okay, can I give you the real? And Joy can tell me if that I'm totally wrong here, right?
All right.
This ain't about me and you. It ain't about the fans, okay?
Yeah.
Drew Luck's got a little swag, and that swag works in the locker room. Okay, this young guy, he's got a little something. It has nothing to do. This is like when old guy gets on radio or TV and says, I don't like those uniforms the college kids are wearing, right? Well, hey, guess what, Gramps? It's not for you. It's designed for the high school kids that want to play for Oregon, that want to play for, pick whatever, right? It's the same thing. The dancing is not for you. It's not for me. It's not for the fans. It's for those fellas that block for him. They got to believe in him, buy him. You got to feel like you're one of them. And I think Drew's got a little hitch in his giddy up. And if you can do it, do it. And if not, I wouldn't. You sound like the guy complaining about the party being too loud because he didn't get invited to the party.
I am 4 for 4. Manziel, Cam, Jameis, Baker. I'm 4 for 4. I don't like it. It is my thing, but prove me wrong. He's an underdog to Atlanta, so somebody doesn't buy him.
Listen. I'm not disputing that I'm not convinced that Drew Lock is a long-term solution at quarterback.
Right.
But I think these two things are separate and distinct. Because at the end of the day, aren't you supposed to have a little bit of fun, right?
Not really.
Do you know how lucky they were to pull out that game? They were on the Chargers chargered. Right, that's basically what happened. They found a way to lose a game that they were completely and totally dominant in. Yeah. He steals a win at home. Yeah. You want to do a little dance? Do a little dance, dude. Feel good for yourself.
Everybody makes fun of old guys, but we own everything. So I mean, we're doing something. We're doing something right. Well, wow. I'm just being honest. Yeah, everybody rips old guys. I got to go. Everybody crushes old guys. Old guys.
Dance Party Friday, Colin. Get on board. Dance Party Friday.
All I want is Drew Lock. Go beat Atlanta. Horrible Atlanta. Can't even win at home, Atlanta. If you can beat Atlanta, I'll dance Monday.
I'm so excited to see this dance.
Yeah,
Drew, you need to do it for all of us.
I'm 4 for 4 on this stuff. I'm 4 for 4. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.